Shaped by Sound is made possible through support from Come Here NC, a program of the North Carolina Arts Council within the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.
Shaped by Sound.
13 North Carolina artists, their songs, their stories, this stage.
Disgraced breakfast, William showed your place and drove you to the barn. Go race and victory was sure, soon the fire and heat secure. He met back in the door with Mick McHugh O'Byrne. Ho, versus where, look kill there, Pickle do is Pickle there. Captain William Hallacan, on is your star low. Up with hammer, up with sword, now we'll go for by the Lord. Mick McHugh is giving the word, follow me up to Carlow. Saxon gold or great as Oreo Gabor, ascended nose to Heine's. Why do you sing a guy's friend? Someone else, Dick Williams, and we'll sing it over from Red to Queen Liza and her ladies. Persons where, look kill there, Pickle do is Pickle there. Up is William Hallacan, on is your Carlow. Up with Howard, up with sword, now we'll go for my lord. Mick McHugh is giving the word, follow me up to Carlow. Children of the gale, Benito Barnes spatters. Children of a fighting stock, would you let a Saxon cut from on Irish rock? Buy up and teach your manners, ho, versus where, look kill there, Pickle do is Pickle there. Have this William Hallacan, on is your Carlow. Up with hammer, out with sword, now we'll go for my lord. Mick McHugh is giving the word, honey up to Carlow. William Hallacan, on is your Carlow. Up with Howard, up with sword, now we'll go for by the Lord. Mick McHugh is giving the word, hurry up to Carlow.
Ben and Tucker from the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
I mean, we're
a distinct pleasure.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. It's an interesting band name you have. Like, what led you to the Tan and Sober Gentlemen? You said that you are neither of those things.
Oh, yeah, none of the three.
We didn't start.
Where did that come from? Yeah.
We got our start at a dearly departed Irish pub in Raleigh, North Carolina, called the Tir na Nog. Got started as a pickup band, sort of. Was going up there figuring out how to play Irish music. And the lady who ran it, our band's godmother, Annie Britton Nice, put me together as fiddler and was like, hey, you know, the band today didn't show up. Why don't you go play on Friday? And So we played, and she called us the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, because at that point, we were none of the three.
That was great.
And the gig went well. She's like, okay, come back and do it next week. So we came back and did it next week, and then we were a band, and that was our name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name stuck.
Wow. So shout out to her
Yeah.
making that happen. And it's a really fun name. As the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, how would you describe the music that you all play?
It comes from traditional music, but it ain't traditional in the presentation of it. We're trying to re-blend the North Carolinian and the Irish elements, right? You know, they've been separated for however many centuries, but we're trying to bring them back together a little bit. And if you've ever been to like a good house party in the western half of our state, and you've got like people dancing and drinking and packed in together, you got like a really hot jam going on in the corner, playing like rye straw at 150 beats per minute. And like it's that energy that we're trying to capture and put on stage.
Good evening, all me jolly lads. I'm glad to find you well. If you gathered all around me, love story I will tell. Forgot the situation and we got on the go. I can whisper all the weekly wage of 19 gob. Was home in October since I left me native home. After hoping them Carlow boys to bring the harvest down. But now we're with a Gansey round me waist and belt. And the gopher on the squad that makes the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollies and we laid it in the flat. If it doesn't last forever, sure I'll swear I'll eat his hat. Well, I've wandered up and down the world, but sure you never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. Well, the other night a copper comes and says to me, Maguire, would you kindly let me light my pipe down at your boiler fire? Well, he placed himself right down in front and hopped up till late. I says, I'm a decent man, you better go and find your bait. He up and yells him down and you, I'm up to all your breaks. Turn on you as a traitor from the temporary ranks. Well, he hit straight from the shoulder, they gave him such a belt that I knocked him into the boiler full of the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollies and we laid it in the flat. If it doesn't last forever, sure I'll swear I'll eat his hat. Well, I've wandered up and down the world, but sure he never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. Oh, we quickly pulled him out again and threw him in the tub. And with soap and warm water we began to rub and scrub. But devil, the thing had hardened, turned hard to stone. And with every other rupture you could hear the copper groan. I'm thinking, says O'Reilly, that he's looking like old Nick. And he burned me if I'm not inclined to claim him with my pick. Says I, it would be easier to pull him till he melts and to stir him nice and easy in the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollies and we laid it in the flat. If it doesn't last forever, sure I'll swear I'll eat his hat. But I've wandered up and down the world, but sure he never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt. You may talk about your sailor lads, ballad singers and the rest, your shoemakers and your tailors, but we please the ladies best. The only ones who know the way their fainting hearts to melt are the lads around the boiler making the hot asphalt. Well, we laid it in the hollies and we laid it in the flat. If it doesn't last forever, sure I'll swear I'll eat his hat. Well, I've wandered up and down the world, but sure never felt any surface that was equal to the hot asphalt.
You all go to Ireland and like play these songs.
Yeah.
So like, what is that like to be from the United States, from North Carolina specifically, go across the ocean into like where this really came from and like play this sort of music?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
yeah.
Remember the first time we went over there, I was pretty nervous about
we were.
playing, Irish music for the Irish, right?
Right.
And I remember, playing our bluegrass songs, and some girls like, "Do you guys know Dirty Old Town?"
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah. And we played, and once they figured out we knew all the old Irish songs, that's all they wanted to hear. They had the
Oh,
whole
you were
street
in
singing
then.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did it was funny because like our old lead singer William, who's long hair, really tall, little gangly, and like is he got the one microphone singing into that out of a little speaker. People are hanging through the window, and he's shoving the microphone into whoever's soloing.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, it's funny because like as a punk and metalhead, that was the most punk thing we've done at the time. And it was hilarious.
I think the reason why we go over well, or at least part of it, is that we're we play Irish songs, but we do not play them in an Irish way.
Yeah.
We play them like we're from North Carolina.
Right. And that's what they're attracted to as well.
Yeah, because we're not pretending to be anything other than who we are.
Yeah.
You'll go to shows and it's entertainment.
Right.
But, there's an element of separation. And like, and as someone who, when I go to a show, like I'm a metalhead. So like I love the mosh pit. I love shows that are theatrical, and I love things that are like in your face and you're just like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
And then I've been to shows where like I've been really disappointed because like there was no audience engagement. And because if I wanted to just go and see someone and have an intimate setting with listening to music, that's great. I'll do that. But if it's one of those things where I want to see a band perform live, and it's basically them playing exactly what's on the album to such an extent that it's like, oh, I could just listen to this at home. Like you don't want to. That doesn't really do it, right?
Like where's that extra sauce?
Right, and it's like, and you're paying to go see these people, right? So it's like it's part of that element of like, hey, we are not just musicians; we're entertainers and performers, and that's something that like is very important to us because it's like we're just regular people.
Makes me never want to fight, but now I'm home, and I feel so damn whole. I smoke and drink and pick my woes away. Now I'm fine, I've gone away, and this happiness ain't happening today. This happiness ain't happening today. Place a wild band playing all across this land. We laugh and love and dance so much. Sometimes this life is such a rush. But now I'm home, and I feel so damn whole. And I smoke and drink and pick my woes away. Now I'm fine, I've gone away, and this happiness ain't happening today. This happiness ain't happening today. Friends and family still, they're gonna light my fire, they always will. That fire of mine's gonna burn strong, I hope it burns long after I'm gone. But now I'm home, and I feel so damn whole. I smoke and drink and pick my woes away. Now I'm fine, I've gone away, and this happiness ain't happening today. This happiness ain't happening today. This happiness ain't happening today.
How are you both shaped by sound?
My dad would take me all over the place, really. He'd take me up to eastern Kentucky a bit, play with people like Gene Ritchie and Lee Sexton. But mostly it was around here, going up to the Mount Airy Fiddlers Convention, which is about a fine example of American culture as I believe there is out there. So I grew up hearing bands like Kickin' Grass and $2 Pistols and all the wonderful bands of the triangle scene that make the middle part of the state sound. And I'm like a distinct product of all of that, like Dexter Romweber, folks like that, that all grew up and soaked into me, and that's the music that I make. That's what comes out of my fingers now.
His dad plays bass too, so
Perfect.
This rebelling against my parents' thing did not go well.
Oh man.
Yeah. What about you, Tucker?
Well, let's see. I mean, music has always been a part of my life. You grew up singing hymns, and then mandolin and banjo. Like on my mom's side, the banjo that's on the wall there is my great granddad's, Granddaddy Howells, and he was born in 1900. And Like, he played clawhammer. And you can see on that thing, if you zoom in on it, it is worn down to where it's like where he was playing the hell out of it. I guess I'm shaped by the sound, and like how music has affected me as a person and brought me to where I am is basically like, it really changed me as a person to understand that, like, you are basically the people you surround yourself with. I am much more proud of the person I am today because of music that has shaped me and the band that I'm in, and it's taken a lot to learn that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, just at the end of the day, no matter what you play or do, that's what matters.
Don't you worry, I'll be fine. I go through more than this all the time. I can't remember through the shine that I go through more than this all the time. And sometimes I raise my head and I look at the sun, and I think of all the things I could have done, I could have done. But don't you worry, I'll be fine. I go through more than this all the time. Come on, Tucker. Yeah, there's a reason I'm sitting here trying to make it all a little less clear. But hell, I've been here for near about a year. I can't seem to move past the whiskey bear. And sometimes I bow my head and I pray to the sun, and I ask him to forgive the things I've done, the things I've done. But don't you worry, yeah, I'll be fine. I go through more than this all the time.
You said this phrase, the importance of keeping one foot in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that to us a little bit? What does that mean?
This music comes from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the stuff we play comes from where we're from.
Yeah.
And I think there is value in being from and existing in the community that produced the music that you play. But the only way this tradition survives is if you keep bringing people into it, keep teaching kids how to play, and have it be a place where those kids want to be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep, I mean, I guess the simplest way to put it is just keep it real.
I love it. Well, thank you all so much for being on our show.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
It's so much fun to have you all. And again, I'm ready for the mosh pit. Let's go.
Was an old woman who had a little pig. Was an old woman who had a little pig. It didn't cost much because it wasn't very big. This little pig caused lots of harm. This little pig caused lots of harm, making muddy tracks all around the barn. Little pig died for the want of bread. Little pig died for the want of bread. Isn't that a dreadful death? Old woman moaned and groaned and cried. Old woman moaned and groaned and cried. Then she laid right down and died. The old man died on account of grief. Old man died on account of grief. Isn't that a great relief? There they all are upon the shelf. There they all are upon the shelf. If you want to hear more, you can sing it for yourself. On the banks of the river, where the willows hang down, where the wild birds harbor, the long morning sound, down in the hollow. Rocksalt and Nails.
Thanks for joining us on Shaped by Sound. If you'd like to hear more of our discussion from today, you can find it over on our website, pbsnc.org/shapebysound, or you can find it on the PBS app.
Shaped by Sound is made possible through support from Come Here NC, a program of the North Carolina Arts Council within the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.